let you know that Rocky's on the way to recovery. I know that a lot of you were interested in that and contacted me via Facebook and many other things. We're here today, we're talking about Chow Hayes, and we brought along Gloria because Gloria actually has got a little bit to say about her connection in a relative way. So I'll introduce you to Gloria, and she will tell you what she's got to say about Chow Hayes, because Chow Hayes was born in 1911, same year as my father, and he's long gone. I think he died in 93. And the fact is that most of you, there's very few people that had any connection that are still alive today with Chow Hayes. So I'll put you over to Gloria. I'd like you to tell the people what you can about what you've got to say, because you are one of the rare ones that did have some connection with Chow Hayes.
Yes, all right. Well, I'll begin with his nice daughter.
Yeah, look at the camera.
She was in the school with me. We spent, I think, 2 years.
What school was that?
It was St Benedict's at Broadway. It was a Catholic school, of course.
And where did you live at that stage?
I was living in Redfern, which was a very close proximity to the school. I met her through that school.
Okay, now, so you became friends, and what did she look like? Because people wouldn't have a clue what she looked like.
Yes, Gladys, I have a clear picture of her. She had blonde hair with a plait at the back, and she had her father's eyes, absolutely. And
well, that's why they called him Chow, because it's slightly slanted.
That's
she
right.
was the same, was she?
That's right, she was. And what else? Quietly spoken, and
well dressed.
her face. I mean, she had lovely skin, as I recall, and she also had a lot of. Her cheeks were nice and rosy. You know, she was a very healthy-looking girl.
Now, the fact that she was Chow Hayes' daughter, did people knew that? What did they think about that?
They did not, blame her for who her parents were or her father was. She was respected. We respected her, and she was a very nice person, so everyone liked her, including the teacher, very, very much so. Can I say that, before I forget, I clearly remember she was absent from school quite a lot. And in the school I went to, that didn't happen. But with her, sometimes she was gone for 3 or 4 days and we wouldn't see her. And she'd come back to school. But she was well thought of. Certainly the teachers liked her. I think everyone liked her.
You think that's because they knew that he was regarded as Australia's first gangster? Was that known?
I don't know about how many children knew it, but it was in the paper and everywhere. So certainly their parents would have known, and probably the children did know. But the notoriety, had no bearing on the sort of person she was.
Didn't she mention to you once about another criminal?
Oh yes, Darcy Dugan. She said to me one day, "Oh,"
because he was in the news a lot, wasn't he, Darcy
yes,
Dugan? Yeah, he escaped a lot.
Yes, and she said, "Oh, my father knew him." I said, "Really?" A little bit wide-eyed, but yes.
Little realising her father was more notorious than Darcy, really, much more dangerous. Because Darcy was just an escapee, bank robber,
yes.
But actually, we're talking about Chow Hayes. He actually killed somebody in a nightclub. Nobody would have blamed her for that, but he went to jail for a long time.
Yes.
She had to deal with that, didn't she?
She had to deal with it, and I never saw anything to make me think that she, was anything but a nice girl. And she was.
And the teachers were nice to her, as you said?
Yes, I think they made allowances for the fact that she didn't turn up from school every now and again, which was really frowned upon in those days because, they wanted to... Normally, if you missed school, you had to have a note as to why you missed school. But she... obviously, the nuns realised that it wasn't her fault.
Well, a lot of people felt sorry for the mother. Did you ever meet the mother?
No, I didn't. But all I know is that usually Gladys would turn up a little later than usual, spick and span, as I say, neat, and at playtime or when we were in the schoolyard together, that's when you could, she'd tell us a little bit about herself, or not so much about herself, but, anything that was going around her. She had a nice sense of humour. I remember that. She would laugh a lot. If something was funny, she would laugh. And
so she had a good personality.
I think she quiet, but she wouldn't be the one that would start the conversation and continue it. And she just listened to what everyone had to say, and every now and again she'd comment or make a comment. So nice person.
Right. So sometimes Mum and Dad would take kids to school. How did you get to school?
Well, I was not very far away from the school. In fact, it was just a short walk, and it was in the same street that I lived in.
So where was St Benedict's? Where was it?
It was on the corner of a place just down from the railway, Sydney Railway, and they know it as Broadway. So our school was facing Broadway. And at today, can I just comment, today or very recently, I went back there, and of course there's no school there anymore. The nuns have called it a day. I don't know what it is these days. It seems to be locked up. And may I say that not only that, as well as the girls' school, they had a boys' school, just separated, of course. And we looked down on the boys' school, and then we had the church in front. So it was our school, the boys' school, and then you looked out onto Broadway, the actual road.
You didn't really know where she lived, did you?
No, I for some reason I thought she would come from a direction which was in line with our street, but it was on the other side of Broadway Road. That's what I thought.
So you think she might have come from the other end?
Yes, I thought so.
To you, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she never discussed it, and we never asked. It wasn't important. She was just one of the girls, and I thought I couldn't see that anyone disliked her. We were a small school, and everyone got along together. I can say that with complete honesty. There was no nastiness in that classroom. For one thing, the teacher would not approve of that, but it was...
The nuns would have been very strict too.
They were strict. They were strict, yeah.
But they were tough times, and you've got to hand it to the girls, the teacher, because this guy was a standout notorious criminal. Everyone knew he was in the newspapers.
In the newspapers.
They didn't, the girls or the teachers didn't take it out on her or even bring it to her attention. So she was able to go to school and do these things and act normal without the fact that her father was a notorious criminal, right? And
yes.
Australia's first gangster, as they call him, and even going on to kill somebody in a nightclub.
Yes.
And the fact she mentioned Darcy Dugan, I mean, those days were, I remember Darcy Dugan, he was a bit of, you remember him? I think your mother used to talk about
yes.
Darcy Dugan, didn't he?
Yes.
He was it's hard to say, but he was a bit of a hero, wasn't he, in a way? Because to the people, when he escaped in that, they all wanted him to get away, didn't they?
That's right, but he was also in the pavers non-stop.
Yeah, he was always in the
when
pavers.
these events happened.
Yeah, and she just happened to mention that her father knew him, yeah.
Yes, and my mother also, Darcy Dugan. She used to comment quite frequently about him. But
did she comment on Chow Hayes at all?
Oh no, no, I don't think she did.
No.
But Darcy was in the spotlight,
Different sort of
spotlight at the time,
Yeah,
so that's what she used to discuss. But not as a child. I mean, she wouldn't go into detail, of course.
But where you lived
all
was
over the
near the
papers.
gym, wasn't it, where they all trained, all the good fighters?
Yes, all the good fighters. We had a place.
I think McClellan and all them were training down there.
Yes, some of the. But it was noted for being a great gymnasium for people. The people that came out of it, the fighters were very good.
Yeah, look, it was tough times, and you were in a tough area.
Mm-hmm.
You went to school with a girl whose father was one of the most notorious criminals and hardened criminals at that time, and probably all time, his reputation through jail. But you were able to tell us that you were friends with the girl. She was a nice girl, and the daughter was. And we don't know if she's still alive, but if she's, you've got nothing but good things to say about her. Is that right?
Well, if she was alive, I'd say, Gladys, I remember you fondly, and what I'm saying is the exact truth.
Okay, that's good. Thank you very much, Gloria. I think that's about it. All we can really say about Gladys, and I think it's very interesting that we got somebody here who actually knew Chow Hayes' daughter fairly well, and because everybody I know that even knew Chow Hayes, they're just about all dead. So that's very interesting, and we'll certainly be doing a lot more as we go on with this podcast. Thank you.
Well, goodbye, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for coming. It's really good to have you on.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks for that, John and Gloria. Good morning and welcome. Today we are on location at King Street in the city, 88 King Street. Today, episode 65, and today is our first viewer's choice by Daffy Shape. And good on you, Daffy.
Good on you, Daffy.
Good on you, Daffy. It's our first one. It's a really important one. John Frederick Hayes, aka Chow Hayes.
Unforgettable sort of guy.
Unforgettable, and also known as Australia's first gangster. I don't know about that, but that was the thing he was known as. But
Squizzy. What about Squizzy?
There was Squizzy in Melbourne, and that was in the 20s and stuff. But anyway, and good morning, John. Good morning, mate. Good to see you. Our first viewer's choice. Very excited. So right behind us is this very fancy shop. Was it Parini? Panerai, and they've graciously let us shoot outside.
Yeah, very nice people. And
very nice people, very nice store.
I told them there's a bit of history there.
Yep.
And
yep.
They haven't got a cellar downstairs there now, but it's amazing to think back, like in 1951, 49, when we got 60. More.
Oh, mate, long time.
Yeah.
And it was, the nightclub, viewers, was downstairs, and we will talk about that more in a minute. We're going to start a bit, I think, John, about John Chow's life, which is quite bloody interesting. He was born on the 7th of September 1911, and he passed on the 7th of May 1993 at the age of 81 years old. But let's kick off with a bit of his childhood, John.
Well, he had a very tough childhood. His father, the World War I started in 1914, so he was only 3. His father went off. What is in the light infantry?
He's in the Light Horse, apparently, and they fought in Europe.
Yeah, so. And when his father came back, he was a broken man. You had in those days it was diagnosed shell shock. I don't know what we'd call it.
Shell shock, but the crap they went through.
And I think he only ever saw his father once, because most of the time he was in hospital, he was in institutions, and so he virtually grew up without a father. In tough times,
Yep.
You can imagine how tough it was.
No male role model as well, yeah.
And you've got to remember too, in 1929 we had the Great Depression.
Yep.
Now my father told me he was born the same year as Chow.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and he was a pretty tough guy. All those people around that era were tough. They had to be tough to survive. So you've got to understand the grounding and the background to make this man what he was, because he was definitely a tough guy, but I think he didn't have a conscience, really.
No,
Yeah.
and I think what you were saying, John, he never had that male role model, and he ended up with doing petty crime. He went to Gosford Boys Home.
Well, he went there, he didn't get out until he was 17, and he told me the same thing that Nettie Smith told me. They're similar sort of guys, right? And he told me that just about everybody that he saw at Gosford, spent time with, they all finished. He met them all at Long Bay.
Yep.
And that's...
It was like a university of crime.
It was.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
It's the old thing. They go into the boys' homes, then they go into the jails.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, from there, it was violence, standover, theft, which, you know, and a reputation on the street. He wasn't a huge bloke, but he was a tough bloke. Like, lots of fights, apparently.
What he decided, in those days, what they did, they outlawed guns. There was a lot of gun crime, and they outlawed guns.
Yep.
And 12 months automatic if you were caught with a gun. That was automatic. So they all started carrying knives, and you had the razors, the razor gang. That's when the razor gangs.
And he was involved in that. Yeah.
He was involved in that.
Yep.
But he decided if someone's going to attack me with a knife or razor, I'm going to attack them with a gun. He was determined to always go one better. And
he always said, never bring a knife to a gunfight. Yeah.
Well, that's right. And there was a guy called Frank Green. Very tough guy.
Heard of it.
A killer.
He was with Kate Lee or something?
Yeah.
Kelly?
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah, Kate Lee. But he went into one of those places, and what happened, Chow was chatting up one of the girls. The guy apparently took offence to it. Maybe it was his girl, who knows. And he blasted him, told him to get out, because he had the authority to do it. Told Chow. Chow went out. He waited 6 hours. 6 hours. This is the man you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And what he got, he had a bloody big iron bar. He had a bit of lever around and stopped the finger, and got stuck in him. And that guy was finished. He went to hospital. He was broken bones everywhere.
Flogged him black and blue. Yeah.
Totally finished. Never worked again in those places. Totally finished. And that got around. That reputation got around.
He was dead set keen on getting that reputation fast.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
And he liked to work on his own. I don't think he liked working in a group. He'd do a few things for Kate or whatever, but he liked run his own race.
Well, he did. He was a loner, but he worked with a guy, and I just can't think of his name. He worked with a guy for over a decade.
Yep.
And they did a lot of armed robberies.
Yep.
They did. And when we get to what happened here, that guy was with him.
Yeah.
He came with him that night with their wives.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that later. But that's the only guy that he worked with and trusted. But he did a lot of stuff on his own.
Yeah.
And
he had rivals. He pissed off a few people. Yep.
Well, let's talk about what people don't know very much about is that they got these leaves. I just forget what sort of leaves were. I've got it written down here.
What was that? They've got...
these leaves, they made them in tobacco. They were cabbage leaves.
Oh, I did see it.
Cabbage leaves,
Yeah,
they boiled them up, and what they did, they sold them as tobacco to the troops over and coming over from who didn't have a clue, and apparently they made a fortune. Anyway, that guy, the guy...
Cheap smokes.
Yeah. Well, a guy called Wyman was working with him, and Chow decided that Wyman was ripping him off of all these cheap smokes.
I believe. So we've sort of moved forward, folks, to about 1945 now, and I believe that Wyman and him had a major rivalry, and Wyman had plenty of Eddie. Eddie Wyman. He had plenty of front, just like Chow.
Well, that's right. They fell out over it.
Yep.
Now the thing is, the reason there were a lot of servicemen over here because the World War was coming to an end, and there were a lot of American servicemen over here at the time. And what happened is that they were making a fortune, but Chow was involved in so many things that he left that part of it to Wyman.
Yep.
And Wyman, according to
Chow.
definitely was ripping him off. So you tell him what he did.
Well, and he had a pattern of that. He thought everyone was ripping him off, because we can talk later towards the end of his life. He had a pattern. He thought everyone was ripping him off and, oh, fucking kill him.
In the bloke who wrote his book.
Oh, exactly. We'll talk about that towards the end. That was not long before his bloody death as well. But yeah, no, look, he got jack of Eddie Wyman. He lived at Darlinghurst. So Chow, he went quiet. He disappeared. He went into hiding for about a week. And apparently Wyman, as I said, had as much front as he did. Yeah. So he reckons that if Wyman sees me, he's going to knock me and I'm going to knock him. So he's decided to get in first. As I said, he had a terrace, I think it was, he was living in up at Darlow. So he waited. In the middle of the night, he crawled up the fire stairs, nice and quiet. And there was Eddie, asleep on the bed. And we know John Chow put 5 in him while he was asleep, and that was the end of that problem.
Now,
1945.
Yeah, now the thing is that he beat that at trial.
Yep.
And I think beating that at trial gave him the confidence to do what he did here, because he thought, nobody going to send me under, I'm Chow Hayes, you know.
And how did he beat that one? John?
Well, he just was found not guilty.
Yeah.
Because
that's pretty cunning, isn't it?
They couldn't really prove it. He was made, but we're not getting here after a man's dead and saying, look, he didn't, and it was never proven. Yeah. Later on, he admitted that he did that. Yeah. Later on, he admitted, and it was out in the open. Yeah, and he boasted about it. So
he wasn't afraid to have a go, and there was definitely absolutely not afraid to have a go.
By this time, everybody knew don't stuff with Chow Hayes. So he was actually in jail when I went into jail. I was 17, and he was in jail. Darcy Dugan was in jail. Kevin Simmons in jail.
All the legends.
Yeah. I never met any of them. Didn't really. I wanted to meet Darcy Dugan, but I didn't want to meet the other guys. And the thing is that
you met Darcy, but not in the best way.
Yeah. Well, that's true. But the thing is, his son was in jail. People don't realize his son Patrick was in jail for armed robbery with a girl. They both got 5 years. Yeah, they both got. People don't realise that. And those judges in those days. They just were hard, very hard.
Very hard,
and he said to the son, the lawyer got up and said, look, he's never been in any trouble in his life. And he said, I don't care if his father's in jail for murder. I'm not taking that into account. 5 years, but I mean, he didn't take into account the good character. He gave him 5 years because who he was. There's absolutely no doubt about that.
Surprised he didn't say like father, like son, or some smart ass, something like that sort of thing.
Yeah, but the girl got 5 years too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he had 4 kids, three boys and 1 girl, which was what we saw. Yeah. Gloria was a friend of his daughters and went to school. So thank you for that, Gloria.
And didn't she die?
I just read, and I'm pretty sure it's correct, that she passed in 2014, the lady that Gloria was talking about. Yeah, so, yeah.
Well, I read Chow Hayes' book when it came out. I think it was about 1990 when it came out. He died in 93.
Yeah.
And I think it was Ian Hickey wrote it. Ian Hickey.
He was a pretty good writer, and he was filthy.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good book. But Chow was dirty, not about the book, but about the records he ripped him off. And I can understand it because I've been ripped off by publishers.
You have, you have.
And you know that.
Yeah.
And so... But
they're ruthless.
If I was an author, I wouldn't be ripping Chow Hayes off.
No, it's not a bright move. And even when he was elderly and sick and all that, apparently he said, I'll fucking kill him.
Well, he was dying in bed. He did an interview and he said, I'm going to get up and go up the cross. I'm going to kill him.
Yeah. And he said it a few times. Yeah. So he did. He said it a few times.
He would have loved to have done it.
Right. Unbelievable. He was a tough gangster, and he spent a lot of the time where we went, in Parramatta Jail.
Yeah, he did.
A lot of his sentence. A couple of other jails, but the majority of it was Parramatta.
But let's talk about, some of those things he did. I mean, it's not well known about those cabbage leaf cigarettes. It's not much known about that because it's not exciting, is it?
Yeah.
Not like...
And robbed. A lot of petty theft. He bashed and robbed a lot of blokes too that were pissed and whatever. He bashed them and... Yeah.
They graduated to armed robberies, him and his mate, and they apparently got away with quite a lot. He worked at, he was standover man at Tomo's 2 Up. Now, we mentioned Tomo's 2 Up. We went there when we were doing the thing about George Freeman.
George Freeman, that's right, yeah.
And so he let it be known. He said, look, if you want to cause trouble, I'll cause more trouble, bigger trouble.
Yeah.
And they all knew who he was. And so there was never any trouble when he was there at Tomo's 2 Up. But he worked for Kate Lee.
Yep.
She had a lot of sly grog places. And
hookers and girls and stuff,
he worked in all those places. And he was all around that area, the inner city and out towards Newtown and up Glebe area. And the thing is that was his background, his playground. He knew it, the inner city, and at one stage he was probably just about, the undeclared king, really. Who didn't know anything.
For sure. And he loved being a gangster. He dressed a bit like, Dillinger with the suits and the hat.
Yeah, he did.
He loved it.
He did. He was always well dressed.
Always well dressed.
And
not a huge guy, but heaps of dash, heaps of guts.
Well, I knew people that met him in jail.
Yeah.
They said he was pretty quiet in jail. They said that everybody knew just don't stuff with him.
Yeah.
But apparently, as he got older, he stuffed around with a couple of heavy guys, and they told him.
We got to mention that.
Yeah.
Cox.
Yeah, I don't know. We better not say.
We better not say anything,
because.
But anyway, there was a few guys.
It may not have been him, but there was one. There was a heavy guy in there.
There was a couple of heavies, and apparently he was a chronic smoker. Chronic smoker, which killed him. It ended up killing him. He smoked 50 plus cigarettes a day.
But his reputation in the end didn't get him over to some of the heavies in Parramatta, because they just said, look, you're an old man, you've had your day.
Parramatta, a lot of the times he was scabbing smokes, and we won't mention names, but he was scabbing smokes and saying, give us some fucking smokes. And apparently he said, do you know who I am? Apparently he said this to various people, and they said, yeah, we know who you fucking are. And like you just said, John, he said, you've had your day, had your day, mate, get your own smokes and fuck off. I don't know how you would have handled that, but...
Well, it's different to Darcy Dugan. It's like when I saw Darcy Dugan, he was always spit polished shoes and that, and trotting around like he was still going to the ballroom. But Chow did slip at the end, there's no doubt about it. But when you think he did well over 30 years in jail, and when he got out, the last one he did, I think he got out about 77.
That's right.
He didn't do any more jail after that.
Apparently somewhere in the vicinity of 30 years, he did all up.
For sure, yeah.
But we'll come up. I think we'll come up to another major segment, John, which is where we're standing at the Ziegfeld. It was Ziegfeld nightclub, nightclub and restaurant. Yeah. It was open for a long time.
Very famous.
Open, yeah.
And what he did, there was another gangster that he knew. Lenny McPherson.
Young Lenny McPherson was up and rising.
Wanted to bump him off at one stage.
That's correct. They were going to knock him.
Lenny McPherson shot dead a bloke in a nightclub.
Who happened to turn out to be... Oh, no, not the nightclub, but he shot dead Chow Hayes' nephew. They killed Chow Hayes' nephew.
But
not the nightclub one.
No, but McPherson done one in a nightclub. Yeah. And there were two coppers sitting in the tail next to they didn't see anything. And the gun wasn't checked for fingerprints. He didn't do a day over it. So that's two. But whereas we know that Chow went down, we'll talk about it shortly. But
yeah. Well, we've sort of, with the nightclub here, we've moved forward, haven't we, John? Yeah. So viewers, we've moved forward from 45. We're now into 1951.
Yep.
And what I said a second ago, they were McPherson and Bobby Lee. Bobby Lee was on the scene. He was a former boxer and an up-and-coming, wanted to be a gangster criminal, and had done some stuff, I think standover, bashing, stuff like that.
But Chow did give him a bashing at one stage.
He did. They hated each other's guts. But they wanted to get rid of Chow, but before that happened, or they never ended up doing it, but before it happened, they wanted to, apparently mistaken his nephew for another gunman.
At the house.
And they killed him.
At the house.
And they killed him. And that was where Chow went, righto.
They thought it was Chow. They thought it was Chow's. It was at Chow's house.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and
Chow just went, that's it.
his name was Simmons, the young guy, and the fact is that Chow, well, they were all upset about the whole family. It didn't take him long either, but what they did, his wife went with him.
That's right.
And his mate, who they did armed robberies with, went with him. I just can't think of that guy's name, but I've got his name. I'll get that later. But and his wife comes. So the four of them went to the nightclub.
Yep.
The four of them went to the nightclub, and
The word was that Bobby was there.
he was there.
Yep.
That's why they went. They were tipped off he was there.
Yep.
And what happened is that they went over, they had a few drinks,
Yep.
and then they went over and said, "Hi, how you going? Let's go outside and have a chat." And there was no way he was going out.
No
there.
way.
So,
Yeah.
and so he just shot him dead.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the ladies went to the car.
No, he sent
The
him out.
ladies went to the car.
He sent
He
them out.
walked back in
Yeah.
at this location right here,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
88
yeah,
King
that's
Street.
right, yeah.
The nightclub, folks, was located downstairs in the cellar,
Yeah.
and was very famous. This was pre King's Cross before it took off up there.
Absolutely.
Everybody came here in King Street.
Well, I mean, the thing is that then you had Sammy Lou's the Latin Quarter, and you had Checkers. They were the things coming. Then King's Cross really flourished.
That's
again,
right.
Yeah.
And also, this venue here was one of the first early drag shows they had. A he-she guy.
Oh, I
yeah,
didn't-
I looked
I
that
didn't
up. I was only reading that last night, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. This is way before Lay Girls, and they had him on occasionally. I don't know how that would have gone down with the crowd, but anyway, the ladies came back out. They probably were parked somewhere. There was nothing like the traffic today, all different.
Well, that's what she got.
Got rid of the ladies, yeah.
Well, she got charged.
Yep.
But the fact that she went out,
Yep,
they saved her.
yep.
And
Well, he come back
Yeah.
and carried a Colt 45,
Yeah.
apparently, which
Yeah.
is a big, powerful
Yeah.
gun, six-shot mag. Came back, walked through the door, back down to the nightclub, and apparently he was walking in the nightclub with the gun
Yeah.
drawn. People
Yeah.
were having a drink going,
only nobody saw it. Nobody saw it. Only people.
He gets 75, 80 people. No one saw jack shit. I wouldn't either.
But you've got to stop and think for a minute.
Yep.
All right, I walk in a nightclub. I've got a big 45.
Big gun.
There's 75, 80 people there.
Yep.
I walk over, shoot this guy, and kill him.
Yep.
Nobody saw anything. And the same thing happened to McPherson.
Yep.
Nobody saw a thing.
No way.
So there were two where nobody saw him. So, okay, he still got charged. He got charged. But I don't think people realise that he was found guilty, yeah, but the first two trials, they had no result.
That's correct.
It was free
He
trial.
didn't actually go down to 54. 1954, he actually went down for
Yeah,
it.
that's right. Yeah.
But imagine that, and we've got some pictures of actually where Bobby died
Yeah.
and the blood
Yeah.
right here again. But basically just walked up to the table and dropped the whole clip, 6 into him, you know.
But have a look at the
How
area.
terrifying.
But look at the area we're living in.
Yep.
I mean, if I shot this guy, and he's a notorious criminal, and I shot someone because I thought it was him,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be sitting around a nightclub,
I know.
you know what I mean, waiting for him to come and get me. I'm going interstate.
You're going into hiding and you're not going to sleep and you're going to have a gun under your pillow.
Exactly right.
But a lot of them were that blasé.
They were just blasé in those days, and come and get me if you can. And
Yeah.
I'm tougher than you.
That's right.
But-
you were fucking with Chow.
But you have a look at what he's done. He must have known he's probably going to go down.
Yeah.
He must
yeah.
have known he's probably going to go
Yeah.
down. And
They came after his wife big time.
They did, yeah,
apparently.
they did,
I
yeah.
was reading on that in my research, and they
always
were
do
going to,
that.
and she was a clean skin, and they were going to charge her for sure.
Yeah, they
and
always-
That was when he went, fuck
Yeah,
it, I
yeah,
confessed.
yeah.
Leave me wife out of it.
that's how they got him, man. And the thing is, that's how they get a lot of bank robbers. And that they grab their wives or their girlfriends.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
have them in, and they say, look, she's going too unless you plead guilty to it, you know.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you're not going to plead guilty unless they've got you cold, you know. You're not going to
Yeah.
do it. But they had him cold, really.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
but the thing is,
Well, I've got my Chow hat on today, that's for Chow. He actually got the death penalty for that, John.
yes, so did Darcy Durgan and Mears at around about the same time, and the government changed, and the screws when the election was on, I remember Darcy Dugan in his book, he wrote about it, and the election was on, and they knew that if Labor got in, that the death penalty would go because Labor doesn't do the death penalty.
Yep.
And the screws kept coming around and saying to Darcy Dugan, his mate, Liberal are in front, they're in front, it looks like they're going to hang you. And of course...
This is their prank.
Yeah, of course Labor won, and Dugan said, but Mears was absolutely crapping himself. He said, Darcy, they're going to hang us, you know, he was saying. But Chow Hayes, he was like, they probably would have hanged him. They probably would. And it was the same down in Melbourne, funny enough, there were a few down there.
I think they would have liked to have got him out of the way.
Yeah.
Completely, yeah.
Well, Bill O'Malley shot a cop down in Melbourne, and he got the death penalty, and the same thing happened, the government changed down there.
Sort of commute it to life.
That was early 50s. So there was a swing back to Labor at that stage, luckily, and then it went to Liberal again. But the thing, that bloke's name that he used to work with was Joey Hollowbone.
Okay.
Hollowbone, and he was a very tough guy.
Yeah.
And right up there with Chow Hayes. And
what happened to Joey?
I don't know what happened to him. I don't know, but he was in a nightclub when it happened. So I don't know what happened there. We should check that out, I guess.
Yeah, that'd be interesting there. But we've got some pretty interesting pictures coming up, which Mark.
Just so many tough guys in those days.
It was tough, mate. These people, you wouldn't have piddled on their boots.
The crims today, I'm sorry, I've got to say, in the jails.
A whole different thing.
Different sort of breed. They didn't have drugs in those.
I was going to say they're more obsessed with drugs. They didn't have cameras every 5 feet.
No, that's it.
Like that as well. And, but we'll sum it up in a little bit.
I'd just like to say one thing here.
Absolutely,
because we all know there was this pretty bad cop, Ray Kelly.
Oh, he arrested him, and we've got a great photo of that gunner.
Yeah. Well, he was always in the arrest. He was in the arrest on Darcy Dugan.
Yep.
He made sure he was there. He was in the arrest when they got Simmons. He came. He wasn't there, but he came. He was leading him in.
He liked a photo.
Ryan and Walker.
Yep.
He was there.
He liked a photo.
Yeah, and he just loved it. And then, of course, he ran with a pretty bad guy called Cray, who actually killed a witness that was going against him. They know it now. Her name was Shirley. Anyway, I forget. They know he murdered her.
Yeah.
And the cops got away with so much. You had Askin as premier.
And tell me, Kelly wasn't on the take either. Come on.
Well, he was. But the thing is with Kelly, they used to call him Verbal Kelly. Now, what that means is that he was. When you got arrested, they quite often bash you in those days.
Yeah.
But there were some crims you could bash them all day and they wouldn't talk. Chow Hayes would have been one of them.
Yeah.
So Kelly didn't bash him. What he did, he verbal him. And what they do in those days, they type up a statement, the cops, and say the crims confession, and just make up the story. I did this, and then I went and did this. They'd type it all up. They'd all sign it.
Yeah.
This is true. They'd all sign it. And then they'd ask the crim to sign it. Naturally, he's not going to sign it.
Yeah.
Then it'd go to court. It's called unsigned records of interview, and it was called verbal. The judges would accept it and say, well...
So commonplace, wasn't it?
The judges knew. They knew they'd accept it. So what happened, when he got found guilty, he lunged at Kelly, tried to grab him.
Yeah, right.
And he said, you bastard, Kelly, you verbal me, and he went right off his brain. And they told him to restrain him. And then he said to the judge, and you... Once you did your summing up, I had no chance. You bastard.
He told the judge to shove it as well.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose at this point, what do you got to lose? You know?
But he was talking the truth. We've all been through it. All of the crims that have done heavy stuff. We've all, in those days, got verbal. We all got verbal.
We should do a bit of research on Kelly and find out what happened to the bastard. But
Oh, I know what happened to him. He went over to Western Australia and he became a journalist over there.
You mentioned that before.
He was a court reporter.
He's probably long gone now, but...
Oh, he would be, yeah. But you imagine his report.
Court reporter.
Another criminal charged. He's definitely guilty, this bloke. I hope he gets fired.
Yeah, and he loved a photo op. Because I've seen him in research of various things. There's always he's there in the background with a hat.
All the great escapes. Simmons and Newcombe, he was there for that.
Yep.
Arranged. Darcy Dugan, there for that. Ryan and Walker from Melbourne, they got caught in Sydney.
They brought him out of the scrub. He was covered in mud and shit.
It was Simmons, yeah. Yeah, it was Simmons, yeah.
It was that era too, wasn't it?
Well,
Bonnie and Clyde, everyone posing with the dead bodies. And,
yeah.
You know, like,
What about Dillinger? Dillinger, all this. He's saying around the sheriff's cell.
But even after they knocked him, they fixed him up, and people were posing next to him and all sorts of things.
Well, even the guy we did just recently.
Barry, yeah.
The bushranger we did just recently.
Oh, yeah, they did the same.
They did the same with him.
Yeah, they took photos. It was very popular to have a photo with a dead person. But look, we'll start to sum it up soon, because we're making these shows a bit shorter as well, which we're trying to get more interest in as well.
Try and get the book if you can, because it's by Ian Hickey wrote it.
Ian Hickey wrote it. Well, we'll move forward with that when we come to our last sort of segment. So we'll move forward, and as I said at the start, he died on the 7th of May, Chow, in 93. But they did do a book and as well the painting in the Archibald Prize, Archibald competition. He got a prize.
Stage too.
I think he got like runner-up, or he got some sort of recognition.
And he's the only gangster that's ever get to that stage. They planted a few.
It was him standing there with a cigarette. I don't think there was many times he didn't have a cigarette in his hand, but and that's what eventually killed him.
I wonder he lived till 81, really, when you think about it.
It is. So when we come forward at that point, Hickey wrote the book.
Yep.
And Chow was filthy. Chow was filthy about it because he got ripped off a lot of money.
Yeah, no, what happened though, Chow approached Hickey to write the book.
Yep.
Right? And the agreement was done. But then there was a big row about
money.
How much Chow got.
Yep.
Because, see, I think Chow thought he was going to get a lot more money than what he did. In those days, that book sold pretty well.
Yeah.
And I think Chow probably did get ripped off. I'm not putting Hickey down. I don't know how it works with the post, but I know I got ripped off.
Yeah.
I got ripped off something terrible in my books. So.
And he was filthy about it too. Oh. And even in that weak condition, he said, "I'm just going to knock this guy." You know.
Well, the thing is that he put his life story out there. He told everything. He knew it'd be a winner, and he felt that. He wanted to leave some money behind him.
Yeah.
He didn't. He just didn't get much money out of it.
Yeah, he died pretty penniless at Lidcombe.
Yeah. And he made a lot of money.
He lived the life. There's no doubt about that. He lived the life. And this was the closest we could get, was this location, wasn't it, John, where it happened? I think the cellar's gone now, just behind us here at... Panerini? Yeah, I can't pronounce the bloody thing. It's a fancy Panerini. Yeah. We'll put that in a plug. They've been very kind.
Yes.
And this is where it went down. Yeah. So after that, he would have walked out, probably out these doors, and come out in the street, got in the car with the missus and gone home.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's unbelievable. And also we have that fantastic knowledge from Gloria, mate, who was a friend of Chow's, a good friend of Chow's daughter.
Yeah.
Which we opened the show with as well. So
she said she was a lovely girl and looked a little bit like Chow.
Yeah.
Long blonde hair.
3 boys and 1 girl.
Missed a lot of school.
Well, he ended up doing close to yourself, John. Most of the time was at Parramatta, and he ended up doing near 30-odd years. Got out in 77.
Yeah. About the same as me, yeah.
And got out, I think, around February, March 87. 77 he got out. So
yeah. That was the last one that he did. Yeah.
So, he
did 15 on that one. That would have got him out in 67. He did 15 on that, and he came back in a few times.
Yeah. And how remarkable, like you say, for the life you've lived, and Chow smoked hundreds of cigarettes and that, he got to 81.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. He looked pretty crook in those last days.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he didn't look well.
I think it's a good ad not to smoke.
Yes, probably. Yeah. Well, you never smoked, did you? No. You never smoked.
I still remember you were Brenner.
Oh, that's right.
So don't smoke.
They killed him. Yeah.
Steve McQueen, no one.
I think so. And I used to smoke, but I give up in my late 20s. But it might come back at me.
No, they reckon if after 5 years it goes.
Yeah, right.
If you give it away for 5 years, you're okay.
Who knows? Yeah. We'll see what happens. But listen, I think we might. Well, Marcus is going to put in for our great supporters of Whitehall and Associates.
Maybe if Chow had Whitehall, he might have got off.
If we'd had Whitehall with Chow, that's a bloody good point, John. He may have got off.
Why would you come to Whitehall as opposed to any other law firm? And it's really about our differentiating factor in the market. And that's client engagement. One thing that we took away from years of experience was listening to clients and their feedback with regards to their engagement with lawyers. One of the main things that we got from that is they didn't even know where their case was, had no one contact them, and years had passed. And so this is certainly something that I think needs to be addressed, particularly given the nature of some of the claims that come through our firm. Our firm is trauma-informed and client-centred. What does that mean? It means we have compassionate, empathetic care with high-quality legal advice that's supportive of you during what can be often protracted and difficult legal time for you. We take the time to listen, really listen, and compassionately, empathetically support you through the long process of an institutional abuse claim. We will be there with you step by step. You will always know where your case is at, and you can always call any one of our staff, or me even. I always make myself available to people who really need it. And I think that is a difference, because I've listened to a lot of clients who've come over to Whitehall from other firms that have said, I just didn't know what was happening. I was lost and my lawyer wasn't engaging with me. It's such a simple thing, but it's such a powerful thing, particularly given the seriousness of the allegations, and also the abuse that someone has suffered and the trauma that they've suffered as a result, and then their whole life has been impacted because of, say, 1, 2, 3, however many occasions of abuse. And so I'd like to also say that I have extensive experience working in mental health, drug and alcohol. I'm a coach. I have other things other than just being a lawyer. So when you come and work with me particularly, you'll have that really one-on-one support that is quite unique in the legal field.
If you know that your lawyer's trying, and I've had a couple of lawyers, if you know they're trying, it just takes them.
Takes that stress. Yeah.
And that's what you offer.
And I was going to say, Johnny, thank you for saying that. We do the heavy lifting. So all we're asking for clients is to make themselves available during the process, which pretty much makes my job a lot easier. And then together, we can get through this claim process a lot quicker.
Give the facts.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
and all the information you need.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it speaks for itself. So please, viewers, if you've got any problems, please give Whitehall and Associates a call. We always have the graphics. Marcus will put that up. And many thanks again for coming in today. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Johnny.
It's terrific. Thanks very much.
Wonderful. She's great, and just listen to what she's got to say. But we recommend them, and regardless of what your legal problem is, go to them. They will do the best. If they can't, they feel they can't do a good job on it for some reason, they will recommend you to someone they feel can. And you can't beat that. Really.
Oh, absolutely. And it's good to be back. You did a great job on the last episode, mate. Those bank robberies were fantastic. Thank you for that.
We're doing history. That was like in the 60s.
Thanks very much.
And now we got here in the 50s. And we're bringing a bit of history back. We're going to these places that are still around. Well, that's not around, but it's amazing that ANZ Bank was still there when we went there. But the fact is,
we've got some plans for couple of crackers coming up.
Well, that one on.
No, we've got a couple of crackers coming up.
Got a couple of good ones, and
we'll be back onto it. Melbourne. Melbourne's coming up.
Yeah, we got a debate.
We're doing the great debate.
Got a great debate at Geelong, and taking on a Melbourne bank robber and Doug Morgan. And it should be pretty good. It'll be a lot of fun.
Mate, it's coming up really fast. So we're leaving on the 8th of November.
It's on the 8th of November at Geelong Museum.
Heading down to Melbourne. So that will be a podcast. Will be filmed.
Yep.
Marcus will put all the bits and pieces on when we get back to Sydney. But it'll be great. Thank you also very much. There's some people had some kind words for me crook old mum. We'll see what happens there. It's touch and go, I think. But thank you very much to everyone.
And thank you in advance, Pentridge Voices, because they're the ones who are going to do the filming.
Thank you, Pentridge Voices. And we're really looking forward to meeting everyone, John.
Yeah, you haven't met them.
Mate, I've had to can it because I've been looking after Mum for years, so I've had to can it a few times, but I'm definitely coming to this one.
And I'm a bit worried about the debate because Doug's an Ed Kelly fan and he's going to throw an Ed Kelly at me.
Yeah, of course. Because... we can do a bit of Thunderbolt in there.
Yeah, we got
There's various others. 1,000 bushrangers roam this country. Throughout those times of 1800.
And Ned's been gone about 156 years, so I mean,
Yeah, well, I know, I could just see you throwing that in. Yeah. But anyway, what can you do? Well, look, we'll wrap it up. Thank you, John. Thank you, Gloria. Thanks, Storm Video Studios, to Maccas.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
And Associates, our great supporters. We love them, and there will be a promo win for that.
And anybody who hasn't subscribed,
please do.
Please do. Yeah.
Please do. We're in a bit of a slow patch at the moment, so we want to come back. Please like and subscribe. It's free. It costs nothing. We go on location and we do it just casually our way. We're not bloody journos or professionals. And
no, we're trying to bring a bit of history back there.
Trying a bit of history back, and we're trying to mix it up with all sorts.
And
whether
get
it's
the facts
30s,
too. We get
40s, 50s. Yeah, exactly.
Because believe me, we've done a lot of research in some of these shows we've done.
Yep.
And there's so much erroneous stuff in the newspapers and the media that at least we've got it down the way.
We try and get the facts. Even today, here at 88 King Street, I've read several in researching, he was killed at a nightclub at King's Cross. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
Again,
It's close, but
and
it's not
others
accurate.
getting mixed up with Manny McPherson too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's close, but it's not accurate. We try and do it accurate, don't we, Don?
Yep.
And we do it our way, casual. Thank you very much to everybody, and we'll be back for 65 soon. Today is actually the 70th podcast for our little show.
Wow.
Over 4 years, yeah, including some promo stuff. It's actually episode 65, number 70, over 4 years.
You're becoming a legend.
I'm nearly bankrupt.
You're becoming a legend.
No, I'm not, I don't want to be a legend, but I'm nearly bankrupt.
And we've got to thank Maccas.
Always thanks to Maccas. And that about wraps up today. We're trying to keep them a bit under an hour. And please like and subscribe. We really need to boost our numbers a bit. But we're grateful to every single subscriber. We're in the 1,440s.
Yeah, maybe tell your friends. That'd be great.
And it's all free.
Yeah.
It's all free on YouTube. Take care, everyone. Thank you very much, Mr. John Killick.
Thank you.
My good friend. Thank you, Maccas. Thank you to everybody. Thanks very much. And be back soon. Bye.